Hello, everyone. I'm James Peat Barbieri for this edition of Conversations with Friends of the Pari Center. Today, we're joined by Julie Arts. Julie is a member of the Pari Center team and a good friend of David Peat. Hello, Julie.
Hi, James.
What initially brought you to the Pari Center, and how was your first experience?
It was 2007, and it was actually really nice to go back in time and remember, like, what was it that brought me to the Pari Center? And what it is that I saw a movie and read a book called What the Bleep Do We Know? And I don't think it's scientifically the best work, but it opened the entire world of me of um, connecting spirituality with science, talking about quantum physics, talking about the split between mind and matter, about consciousness, about the universe is intelligent, was like a whole new world of scientifically looking at reality and the meaning of life, let's say, to put it really big. And so I dove more into the matter. I just wanted to learn more. And I must have gone online searching for a quantum and where I could learn more about it. And I think I just came across the Pari Center. And so I went for a first program in 2007. And it was literally mind blowing, like in the most literal sense of the word. Um, that, walking around in the village, which is obviously the most fantastic environment to do such a program, that you're just trying to redefine your relationship with reality and with yourself, having heard all those stories about new science, etc., etc. So, and I went back many times after that for roundtable dialogues, for Pari dialogues, on ethics, on business, looking at reality from the perspective of the I Ching or Bach. I mean, I found it amazing what David was organizing and offering as a way of looking at life and reality. Yeah, definitely changed my life.
Later this year, the movie Infinite Potential, a documentary on the life and ideas of David Bohm, will be released this year by Imagine Films with director Paul Howard. A big step into the realization of this film was your sponsorship of bringing the interviewees to Pari to film them. Would you talk about that week and how it happened?
It happened, we were, so David Peat, so often told about how it was such a loss for the world that there was no documentary on the life of David Bohm. And he had mentioned that several times during the years. And then the last time was in 2015. We were there for a roundtable dialogue around entrepreneurship. And your dad was joining us, our granddad was joining us in during the mornings. And he mentioned it again, how he would love that a video or documentary was made. And we just said, well, what does it take? And he said, well, we need to just bring people to Pari. And we literally, with the group who was there, said, well, then let's make it happen. And so we all pitched in and we asked him, like, who would you invite here? And we, with people sponsoring, but a wider circle even, contributing to flights, accommodation, and food. And we just said, okay, let's fly them in. And 2 months later, it was happening. And so that week, I'll never forget. It was amazing, right? I remember you being interviewed, but also Basil and David Schrum. And there was so much intelligence in that village that week and so many good stories, but also, enjoying food and humor. But you could feel how it was for everybody so unique. First of all, to be back together, to be in the village, to be with David, and to talk about their links and about the work and life of David Bohm. So it was quite exceptional.
Yeah. Well, I remember that week quite well as well. And as you said, yeah, it was almost magical. Yeah, and thank you very much for making that happen, really. And
We were a group of 8, 9 people, I think.
yeah,
And we just said, let's do it. This is too important. And it's maybe like a very small thing we did, but it did put everything into motion. Yeah.
absolutely, yes. You are currently involved with the Pre-Sensing Institute. Would you talk a bit about the center and your work there?
It's so the Presencing Institute is founded by Otto Scharmer, who is a senior lecturer at MIT. And so I can describe the Presencing Institute in many ways, but maybe in its foundations, it's an action research organization around societal transformation. And so there are so many parallels between what the Pari Center does and the Presencing Institute does, especially on the level of the the, the, the frameworks or the mental models or the thought that goes into it. So in the Presencing Institute, we work around awareness-based collective action, which had links with gentle action. And it's connecting science, consciousness, and the relational, which was also quite close to, art, science, and the sacred. And so, what we do is we develop infrastructures and processes to guide individuals or big systems through change process or transformation processes. And so it's quite systemic. So systems thinking is very much part of that, but also the very personal. And I learned a lot in the Pari Center through all those years around dialogue and how important it is, and how you can look at it almost scientifically, how it is contributing to change. So my main work is developing programs, both online and offline, very small and very large scale, and leadership programs. And so, yeah, I enjoy that very much. I've learned throughout the years how many links and parallels there are between presencing and the work of the Pari Center. And I'm going to explore that even more. And in June, I'll be hosting a community call, a Pari community call, on that topic, and then have a conversation with everybody who's there to see what that means to them.
Do you have any examples of the work that this institute is doing?
Yeah. So one example, for example, is the UN. They are obviously under pressure to reach the SDGs, and they noticed that having the technical solutions, of which many of them exist, to reach the SDGs is not enough. So often in the countries, there was lacking the leadership capacities to actually make the change happen, or to come together with all stakeholders involved and co-create the solutions. So they set up this SDG Leadership Lab and asked us to do the design and the facilitation of those. And we already did that now in a couple of countries and are looking at how we could scale up. So it's working with the heads of agencies, of all the UN agencies in a country and their deputies, but also key stakeholders, and just going through a process of reflection and leadership development, but very action oriented. Like, how are we going to develop the right structures for us to be able to reach the SDGs in a way that is for benefit of all?
Thank you very much, Julie, and thank you all for joining us. We'll see you soon at our next conversations with Friends of the Pari Center.